You know what's strange? Some of the most sensitive, emotionally intelligent people you'll ever meet didn't develop those talents via books, classrooms, or years of meditation. They developed them because at some time in their lives, they had to. Their nervous system was trained not by choice, but by circumstances that needed them to read rooms, forecast emotions, and plan several steps ahead merely to feel secure. Psychologists have begun calling this traumatic intelligence. And if you've never heard of it before, that's exactly why this video is important. Here's the psychological foundation. Trauma doesn't only harm individuals. In many situations, it also sharpens them. Research in developmental psychology reveals that children who grow up in unpredictable or emotionally complicated circumstances often develop a heightened sensitivity to social signals, emotional patterns, and nonverbal communication. Their brains, specifically the amygdala and the prefrontal cortex, are programmed early on to detect tiny signals that most people completely miss. The result is a sort of intelligence that seems nearly invisible from the surface, yet runs incredibly deep on the inside. The first clue is that you can read a room before anyone says a word. You go into a location and something changes in you, a quiet alertness. You pick up on tension in someone's posture or a tiny expression that crosses a person's face for less than a second. This isn't intuition in the mystical sense, it's pattern recognition. Your brain was educated from an early age to monitor your environment for emotional input because at some point, that scanning kept you safe. The second sign is that you are highly connected to other people's needs, sometimes before they are. You sense when someone is struggling even when they insist they're fine. You feel the change in someone's energy before they've had a chance to process it themselves. Psychologists refer to this as hyperempathy, and it often develops in persons who grew up needing to follow the emotional moods of caregivers or family members carefully. You learned to feel others because your environment needed it. Third, you are an extraordinary problem solver, especially under pressure. When things fall apart around you, something in you goes cool and strategic. You don't freeze, you adapt. This is the nervous system doing something amazing. Individuals who suffered early adversity typically acquire what researchers describe as stress inoculation, meaning their brains are better equipped to manage high-stakes circumstances because high-stakes conditions were just their normal. The fourth symptom is that you think profoundly about human behavior almost compulsively. You evaluate why people do what they do. You replay talks. You look for the significance behind actions that others don't even notice. This level of psychological thinking isn't random. It was built by years of trying to comprehend the unpredictable behavior of individuals around you. You became a student of human nature because understanding others seemed crucial to your well-being. Sign 5. Everything you've heard thus far, the perceptiveness, the empathy, the analytical mind, these are not faults disguised as virtues. They are actual cognitive and emotional adaptations, and they convey a tale about how incredibly receptive the human brain is to experience. The sixth indicator is that you have a highly developed feeling of self-reliance. You don't wait for people to save you. You create solutions independently and silently. This self-sufficiency frequently shocks people who know you, yet it makes complete sense developmentally. When the environment in childhood wasn't reliably supportive, the brain learned to internalize resourcefulness. Dependence felt unsafe, so competence became the default. Seventh, you experience things more intensely than the others around you seem to. Music strikes differently. Injustice disturbs you on a visceral level. A kind act from a stranger can truly affect you. This emotional depth is a feature of traumatic intelligence. The amygdala, which processes emotional experience, becomes highly sensitive by repeated emotional stimulation in early life. The result is a person who doesn't just observe the world, they sense it at a frequency most people don't have access to. The eighth clue is that you struggle to trust readily, but when you do trust, it's deep. Your threshold for trust is just greater than typical. This isn't cynicism, it's an adaptive skepticism. Your brain learned early that not all signals of safety were real, so it built filters. And those filters, while sometimes alienating, also imply that the connections you do create tend to be honest, meaningful, and unusually resilient. Ninth, you have a complex relationship with rest and quiet. Slowing down might seem uncomfortable, almost hazardous. When things are quiet, the mind tends to travel within, and not always softly. This is the nervous system doing what it was conditioned to do: remain attentive. The irony is that the very intellect trauma produced requires active effort to unravel. Learning to rest for someone with traumatic intelligence is itself a type of reclaiming. It's telling the brain that the danger has passed. And the 10th sign, probably the most defining one, is that you carry a subtle but unshakable sense of significance. You don't travel through life lightly. You've looked carefully at pain, both your own and others, and something in you has refused to let it be meaningless. Research on post-traumatic development, studied extensively by psychologists Richard Tedeschi and Lawrence Calhoun, suggests that a considerable fraction of persons who navigate hardship emerge with a deeper philosophical understanding about what matters and why. You are in many ways someone who learned wisdom earlier than others. Here's what's worth sitting with. Traumatic intelligence isn't something to appreciate at the price of acknowledging the difficulties that created it. The sharpness was real, but so was the cost. What psychology invites us to grasp is that the human brain is not merely harmed by suffering, it is also, in very definite and measurable ways, altered by it. The perceptiveness you carry, the empathy you convey, the way you examine the world, these are not coincidences. They are the architecture of a mind that had to expand swiftly, and did. The question now isn't how you got here. The question is what you choose to do with the intelligence you gained along the way.